Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I'm going to give you the Marvel Future Fight News Minute, along with my advice for the best Epic Quest Deluxe pack to purchase now that we have 4 Deluxe packs. It's a lot more complicated, and there's a few things to consider, so we'll have to dive into that. But first, with the Marvel Future Fight news here, we have not only a new token event, but we've got some other things. So we've got the new token event. The new token event has one text error. It says card upgrade 1 card, but then it says daily enhance ISO 8. So if you actually go and try to upgrade your card, you will see that I don't think it does anything for the event quest. Oh, it does. Okay, that's mad confusing. I don't know if you do the ISO 8 if it will actually upgrade it as well. Maybe you choose. It's one or the other. Anywho, Marvel Future Fight, 5 years in running, never made a single mistake. So we've got these 50 tokens that you can get per day. It's a 14-day event. So if you're unfamiliar with these events, you get 800 tokens throughout the event because you get 50 per day, and there's 14 days. And then over here, you have some pretty spicy rewards. As you can see, we've got a Mega Tier 2 ticket again. It seems like the Mega Tier 2 ticket is now the norm, so you can expect to be getting... You should probably expect, this is the 3rd or 4th Mega Tier 2 we've gotten in a row, 1 Mega Tier 2 ticket every single month. You can budget that and you can sort of plan ahead. My advice for Mega Tier 2 tickets, by the way, a Mega Tier 2 ticket takes a character from 6 stars level 1 all the way up to Tier 2. You do not need to work on the character's gears. You do not need to work on their mastery or their level. So it would be a bit of a waste to do it to my Mr. Sinister, because I've already mastered him, I've already got him to level 60, and I've already started working on his gears a little bit. But it's up to you who you want to use your Mega Tier 2 ticket, obviously, who you want to use it on. My advice is always to use the Mega Tier 2 ticket on characters that are extremely hard to farm. So, you know, Bio subscription and X-Gene subscription characters that you get from Vibranium chests or Platinum chests and up in the Danger Room, like Professor X, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Rachel Summers, or characters that you can only get in very limited quantities from the Epic Quests, Isla, Phyla-Vell, Colossus, Victorious. Not necessarily in that order, but I do have a guide on my master guide sheet for the Mega Tier 2 ticket. Now, that is the new event quest, but what's really nice about it and why I wanted to make this video about the deluxe packs in case you haven't purchased one yet is because we have a crystal spending mission. So if you spend 10,000 crystals, you will get a mega rank up ticket as a reward on top of whatever you get for spending 10,000 crystals. You're not spending 10,000 crystals filling up these bars. They will fill up regardless of what you purchase. And what's really good about the deluxe packs, as some of you guys know, when you buy it for 6,600 crystals, if you finish the epic quest, now that's sort of the key point here, it wouldn't work for me for this one, but when you finish the epic quest, you get crystal rewards back as a refund from the deluxe pack. As you can see, there's 150 there, there's another 150 or 100 over here, so it adds up to 1,500. So if you take your 6,600 that you purchased, it'll put you at step 6, right? You'll have all the way up to step 6 rewards, but not quite step 8 because you haven't spent 8,000. But then you get that 1,500 refunded, and you go and you spend that on, let's say, Star-Lord's uniform and something else. Now suddenly you're at 8,100. So now you are at step 7, which is the last step before the final step. So that's a way that you can actually spend less than 10,000 crystals, but you can still get the mega rank up ticket. So it's really good. It's especially good now to combine the mega rank up ticket with the mega tier 2 that we're getting here, because you can essentially take a level 1-star character all the way up to tier 2. So you could take a level 1-star Phyla-Vell all the way up to tier 2. You could, if you have a Namor that you pulled out of a chest, out of a premium hero chest or something like that, any of those characters, again, you have a 1-star Professor X from the Danger Room, you can immediately take that character all the way up to tier 2. So with that being said, I now want to talk about the epic quests, because for those of you that didn't purchase them yet or haven't purchased one, or you're saving up or what have you, now is the best time to purchase one. You always want to purchase an epic quest. You always want to make big purchases with crystals when there's a crystal spending event. If you also wanted to gamble, for those of you that aren't necessarily interested, they moved this around, For those of you that aren't necessarily interested in the deluxe packs, I believe the CTP of Rage is on chance up, so that's something that you could consider as well. I'm not advocating or encouraging you to gamble. I'm just bringing it to your attention. I'm just giving you the information. So as far as the epic quest goes, we've got Richard Rider on the left, then we've got Invisible Woman, then we've got Psylocke, and then we've got Magneto. Now, there's 3 main things you need to take into consideration when you're purchasing these deluxe packs. 1, how strong is the base character? Magneto, Psylocke, Invisible Woman, Richard Rider, Nova. Two, how strong is the character that you unlock later? So, you know, from right to left, we've got Jean Grey, Stryfe, Doctor Doom, and then Gladiator. And then third, how good is the mission itself? The Magneto and Psylocke missions are okay. They give you, you know, X-Men materials, which you can be capped on, so that's not good, but the gold is decent in the bios. And then Invisible Woman and Richard Rider are the best because not only do they give you double the gold, but they give you items that you cannot be capped on, like ISO 8. I mean, you can be capped on inventory space because Marvel Future Fight is inventory simulator, but you know, there's no hard cap on each of these materials individually. So you've got ISOs, you've got obelisks, and you've got, of course, these amazing extreme boosts. Because I own both Invisible Woman and Richard, I'm getting 4 extreme boosts per day. You need 21 extreme boosts to fully awaken 1 ISO. So if we do 21 divided by 4, it takes me less than a week to fully awaken a 6-star ISO. So to take an ISO from +5 all the way to this, it takes me less than a week. That's awesome. It's really good because the difference between the difference between a bunch of 6-star awakened ISO and then maxed out awakened ISO is the difference between a 20% attack boost, or that's 22, and a 40% or 35 or 40%. So the difference is literally double. So as far as the 4 deluxe packs goes, I think that, you know, not considering uniforms, not considering any other purchases, it's actually not left to right in terms of power level, or right to left. I do think that Richard Rider is the strongest out of the 4. He's much stronger than Magneto with no uniform. He's stronger than Psylocke, and he's stronger than Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman used to have a lot more value because of her striker ability, but now we just have a lot more characters that deal all defense down as strikers, and while she's still pretty fun to play, she just doesn't have enough damage to keep up with a lot of these other characters. She's pretty much fallen off. She's not really used as a support, she's not used as a main, and she's not used in PvP. So yeah, I honestly think that her value has fallen off to the point where, in terms of character power levels, when you do consider uniforms, especially because Magneto got such a huge bump with that House of X uniform, I would say that Richard Rider is still number 1 for the most powerful tier 2 character from the deluxe pack, then Magneto, then Psylocke, then Invisible Woman. So I think Invisible Woman usually is around the bottom 1 or 2. She just, she will move to second worst if Magneto doesn't have his uniform. Now, obviously, because Magneto can get tier 3, you could argue that he's automatically better than Richard Rider, but that's an additional cost, right? That's not something you're going to get for just spending 6,600 crystals. Now, if you really want to get Magneto's uniform, and you're going to, put those 1,500 crystals back into his uniform when there's a uniform sale, which we don't have right now, then that's another thing to consider. But you're trying to consider things individually and compare them equally. Richard Rider doesn't have a uniform. Psylocke has a uniform. How much stronger could these characters be with new uniforms? So there's that. Then as far as the additional characters are concerned, I know I haven't made any content on Gladiator, but from what I've seen, he's probably going to impact the meta more now than Stryfe or Doctor Doom. I can't see into the future. There's a possibility. There's always a possibility with Netmarble that we're going to be getting a tier 3 Doctor Doom or a tier 3 Stryfe in the future. Again, it's up to you to make that decision, but I think right now, if I had to choose either Gladiator, Stryfe, or Doctor Doom to take into PvP, I would choose Gladiator. And I know for sure that Gladiator is better for PvE content, for like world boss content and squad battle and possibly ABX, because of his kit. If you just look at his kit, it's insane, right? You max him out. He's got 55% all attack, which is bonkers. It's the best leadership in the game in terms of the inclusivity because it applies to all allies. He's got crazy heals. He's got crazy, extra passives. He's got insane all defense down. I think it goes up to -50 or -60% when you level up the skill. This is a level 1 Praetor's Judgment. So he really has a lot of weapons, both for PvE and PvP. He's like Wolverine if they gave him all defense down. That's kind of how it feels. So I hate to say that because it's kind of sad, but yeah, he's kind of like Wolverine if they gave him all defense down. So you can do with that what you want. The only thing is he doesn't have a uniform, but Gladiator has a lot of looks in the comics, more so than Stryfe, probably as much as Doctor Doom. So he could be likely to get a uniform. Obviously, I'm ignoring Jean Grey here when I compare Stryfe Doctor Doom and Gladiator, because she's the only one, she's the only native tier 2 at the end that can get to tier 3, and because it's Marvel Jean Grey, it's Marvel Jean Grey fight, baby. We know how it is. The game literally revolves around her. So yeah, you can't really compare those two, right? You can't compare Jean to any of these characters. Jean is by far the best native tier 2 out of the 4. Keep in mind, you're going to have to get a uniform for her, either X-Men Red or House of X. Keep in mind, you're going to want to tier 3 her. So again, those are extra investments. I think base kit, no uniform Jean Grey, level 60 versus Gladiator. I don't think it's that far. I think it's pretty close. I don't think he's that much further away from her. He's probably straight up better than her. I mean, I know he's straight up better than her for PvE. He might be better than her for PvP. So again, you can consider those and compare those things. Ultimately, the way that I would rank them, and obviously I left my ranking for the very end of the video, I would say that the Richard Rider pack is the best one to purchase if you haven't purchased any of them. Not only are you going to be getting infinite resources that don't cap out, like the X-Men materials, but you're getting a character in Richard Rider that is amazing for PvE content and PvP content, and then you can unlock Gladiator in the future, who is also very good and is going to have a more immediate impact on your roster than Stryfe, than Doctor Doom, and then Jean Grey, arguably, until you have more resources to rank her up. If you've already purchased Richard Rider's pack, what would your second pack be? At that point, I would say it's either Invisible Woman or Magneto, because at that point you can start considering more long-term developments of your roster. And of course, Jean Grey is always going to be relevant, but getting Invisible Woman is not a bad deal, because Doctor Doom will eventually get a rework and a uniform, and he's going to be a nightmare when he does, because like Jean Grey, he has revive, he has native penetration, he's got all defense down and all the stuff, yada yada yada. He's universal, he's a villain, so he combines a very rare, he's kind of like Thanos, right? If Thanos was a native tier 2 Epic Quest character, he's kind of like that, or he will be when he gets a uniform in a tier 3. And then, you know, what I'm basically saying is leave Psylocke to the end. I know it sounds really strange, even though Psylocke is a much better character than Magneto without a uniform, even though Psylocke is a much better character than Invisible Woman. It just has the least amount of value. Stryfe has the least amount of value because we have so many blast characters. We have so many blast characters. We have so many blast tier 3s, so many blast tier 3 heroes, so many blast tier 3 villains. We just don't need Stryfe in the current meta at all. He does have some unique properties with the fracture stacking and stuff like that, but I just don't see, if Netmarble is sane at all, I don't see them giving Stryfe a tier 3 in the near future. And because of that, on top of the fact that this mission, like the Magneto mission, is giving you capped resources, right? You don't need these long term. You only need them in spurts for specific characters. So, I mean, I guess if you were going to start Marvel Future Fight and only play with mutants, then you'd want to get Magneto and Psylocke first, obviously. But for most players, the overall value in terms of more gold daily, other materials daily, Richard Rider, man, he is insane. And I want to do just a really quick demo for you guys because I finally figured out how to play him. I want you to check this out. I hope this works. Here, we're going to do this team here. Basically, you make space, you make distance with Richard, and then you go into the 5, okay? And then you go into the 3, and that's how you play him. So you got to play him in a particular way. I'm bringing along Mystique for the extra damage. But I want you to check this out. This might take a little bit of baiting. You know what? I actually might not be able to bait her. Yeah, you know what? Richard might die here. You need to make space. Okay. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, let's try this again. You basically just need to stall for a few seconds until his 5th skill is off cooldown. And then you need to do his 5th skill. Now, you may have to sacrifice a character at the beginning. You can use Wasp. You can swap over to Wasp. But, okay, here we go. So you're going to do 5. And then that's it. Boom. And then she's going to come over again and you're going to do 5. But you have to start from far away. It's imperative that you start from far away. Oh, you're going to iframe? I'm going to iframe ignore. Now, Thanos is a different beast here. Thanos is a lot harder to kill for Richard, especially at level 60. A lot of level 60 characters struggle a lot with Thanos. We're going to try it. I'm going to try it. But he has a ton of value for PvE, as we showed, and then he's got a ton of value. Okay, Thanos. He's got a ton of value for PvP as well. So I think by far he's the best of the 4 deluxe pack characters. Now, hilariously, you're probably wondering what my build is for Richard Rider Nova, that I was able to kill that Jean Grey and I was able to kill that Black Widow. Well, it's the exact same build, except I actually took off his CTP of Authority, I think I gave him, and he has a crit he doesn't even have guard break immunity. He's got a crit damage, ignore dodge, 140 proc. So I think the really important thing is to start away from your enemy with Supernova Crash, and that really enables him to combo 5-3, 5-3 in a really, really effective way. I'll be bringing you guys more Richard Rider content, but yeah, I wanted to make a little talk about and a little bit of discussion about the deluxe packs, because I think now is a really great time, and because we have a lot of new players now with this new epic quest, or returning players who have a lot of crystals saved up. So now would be a good time for them to invest in a universal deluxe pack character like Richard Rider. So let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.